From beautiful and warm Ann Arbor, Michigan, this is Michigan Women's Soccer on WCBN. It's the Wolverines versus Iowa State from the Soccer Complex. I'm Owen Crain, my partner today, Ryan Dolson. Ryan, good to be back on air with you.
I have been so ready for this. Words cannot explain. I missed this. Missed this so bad.
We had some good times last fall as the Wolverines made a run deep into the NCAA tournament. In fact, our Thanksgiving break got in the way of covering Michigan. Of course, these sports do not stop for the holidays. Now, we are underway, the Wolverines and Iowa State. Dolson, coming back from last year, the Wolverines' fantastic run, what are you looking to see from them this season?
Definitely still looking for an offense that just keeps things moving, doesn't really give the other team a chance to get set up, get things moving. That was really a big thing that the Wolverines did last year, is that their offense suffocated the other team. Defense, the team was always on the defensive and could never get anything going.
Absolutely. You remember those late playoff games, Penn State, Michigan's pressure really just had Penn State's defense collapsing, and that otherwise aggressive team just couldn't come back from it. And we'll see if we have that from Michigan and the Wolverines today. Right now, ball deep in Michigan territory. Iowa State moving it around. They'll cycle it to the back end, move it to the near side.
Number 9 for Iowa State. That's going to be Lauren McConnell with the ball in the corner. Loses possession over to the Wolverines. Number 8 on Iowa State. Number 14 for Michigan. Kicking it into the stands, out of play.
That's Danielle Wolf. That'll move out. It's going to be a Michigan ball for the throw-in. The Cyclones of Iowa State looking for their first win on the season. They're 0-2-1 overall. Haven't played any Big 12 matchups yet. For the Wolverines, 3-1-0. Of course, no Big 10 play just yet. So this is quite early in the 2022 campaign. The first loss of the season coming to Butler August 21st.
I wanted to see if there was any real recent precedent for this team playing, but this is only the second time the Wolverines and Iowa State has faced off in women's soccer. Wolverines won a 4-2 matchup in 2003.
So ball goes every which way at the midfield. The Wolverines will end up with the throw-in at about the midpoint of their territory. They'll swing it to the back end and take some time to reset. It's Ridgway, the graduate student, with it. She'll look to the far side, where Michigan will take its time under pressure. Swing it back to Ridgway. She looks forward. She has Kalita. Kalita upfield. It's long. That one's going to go right into the hands of the Cyclones keeper.
Wolverines not having too much time inside the Cyclone territory so far. Neither team with any shots on goal yet, but still very early, not even 3 minutes in.
Absolutely. Michigan, again, we talked about their explosive offense last year. We'll see if that makes a return on the pitch today. We haven't seen it quite yet. They're taking a lot of time with the ball. It's worked its way back into Michigan's territory. The Wolverines will take their time with it. And keeper today is Izzy Nino, wearing number 1, graduate student here at the University of Michigan. Coming upfield is Hackinson with it. She's at the midfield line. Stolen away by a Cyclone, but she's fighting for it. The Cyclones will ultimately recover. They'll take it to the far side and start sprinting in.
Neither team has had real solid possession of the ball so far. Cyclones have not had a lot of good attempts or even good looks at the goal yet.
They'll take it to the near side and look to move in towards the box. It's quickly knocked away by Ridgway.
Passed over to Avery Horner on the Cyclones.
Ball at the midfield. Cyclones moving it around, looking to create space. Not too aggressive at the moment. They'll take their time and swing it around. Ball's on the near side at midfield still.
Cyclones certainly seeming, again, Wolverines not a whole lot of experience taking on this Iowa State team. Cyclones currently taking it at a slower pace, much more methodical, it would seem, with their game of play.
Looking to start things up, it's the goalkeeper, Jordan Silkowitz, to the far side. Wolverines attack and put pressure. The Cyclones will pull back with it at about the midpoint of their zone. They're approaching the midfield now. They'll look up the far side, entering Michigan's territory. A Cyclone has it, slowing down under pressure from Sammy Woods. They'll keep control of the ball. An errant pass, however, will hand it over to Lily Farkas at the midfield. Now the Wolverines sprinting up. Give and go. It's Farkas's ball still. She enters the Cyclone territory. She's approaching the box. Still on the run. Handoff to Lawrence. Lawrence, clear shot, and she'll score! Michigan strikes first and gets on the board early. First shot of the game, first goal of the game.
Not even 5 minutes into this one. 40 minutes, 12 seconds left in the half. That was Lawrence, I believe, correctly, with an amazing look on goal. Given a beautiful pass. She delivers a shot into the Cyclones goalie, who manages to block it, but just not enough as it rolls into the ring.
So the Wolverines, Wolverines strike first here off junior Casey Lawrence's foot.
Terminology already a little rusty. It's been quite a few games. It's been quite a few months. Long summer. I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. That goal, that was exciting. This Wolverine squad.
Beautiful. Great way to start off the game for Michigan. You can hear the PA announcer. And also Dolson, we should mention, great turnout given that it's 7 p.m. On a Thursday.
Yeah.
College football is on tonight. Still, the Maize and Blue faithful coming out with a force. Ball's back in play now. It actually rolled out. We'll have a throw-in at midfield. It was the Wolverines. Ball will roll back to a Cyclone defender, and they'll cycle it back to their keeper, looking to reset things. So Wolverines on the board up 1-0, with the only shot of the game as well.
Gotta say, that was such a beautiful goal. Wolverines, pretty much first time in Cyclone territory in a way that really mattered, and it was just excellent. Thing of beauty. Beautiful passes, beautiful looks, beautiful shot.
Absolutely. Cyclones still working with the ball. They've tried to move it upfield a few times, still have it at about the midfield. They'll actually pull back here, look to create some opportunities. And again, as we said, that they tied Northern Iowa, they tied Minnesota in exhibition games, both of those exhibition. They've lost to Arizona and to Memphis, and they tied Creighton at 0-0. Wolverines with the ball. Quick look towards Lily Farkas. She can't get there in time.
Whistle is blown.
Must have been an offsides call.
So it would seem. As I've said, this Wolverine squad last year was just excellent, and I'm really seeing all the same things that I liked last year. I'm seeing it in spades in this game. We're not even 7 minutes in, 38.5 minutes left in this first half, and that defense, that Wolverine defense, when you get the ball into their zone, they are suffocating. They are not going to give you a whole lot of opportunities.
Absolutely. The Wolverines do a great job applying pressure in the back end especially. And we're already seeing that, like you said. So the Cyclones, they look to launch one deep into Michigan's zone. No one's there. The ball will roll out, and we'll have a goal kick here for Nino. She chooses to keep it short. Looks to the near side for Tolbert, the sophomore. Tolbert looks up to Lawrence. Lawrence has some space. One defender on her. She looks back. The Wolverines will punt it towards the midfield. Received by a Cyclone, and now the Cyclones have possession right at the lip of the box. We'll see a shot off, and that one goes in. Clips the near side of the goal, and Dolson, the Cyclones strike back real quick.
Certainly a very different goal than what it seemed for the Wolverines. It's a goal nonetheless, but despite it, the defense was a 3-on-1 at one moment, really moving around. Shot from much further back. Goalie dove for it, but just couldn't get it there. That'll make it a tie game, 1-1.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that comes together real late at the last moment for Iowa State.
Really seemed like the Wolverines had it handled until they didn't.
Yeah, and that was just tough there as the defense looked to move the ball upfield. A Cyclone got her head on it, and suddenly the ball was right at the lip of the box. So Iowa State ties this game up real quick. 37 minutes still remaining in the first half. Of course, the clock does count down in collegiate soccer. The Wolverines take it from midfield but turn it over quickly to the Cyclones, looking to capitalize on this momentum. They have it still about the midfield on the far side, looking to enter Michigan territory under a lot of pressure, however.
Both teams with one shot on goal, both shots going in for the Cyclones and the Wolverines. Tied up at 1-1. Wolverines with possession in their own section. That's going to be a whistle.
Farkas is knocked over at about the midfield. She'll have the free kick, hand that off to Avery Kalita. So Kalita takes the kick to the midfield. It's Hackinson with it. She looks upfield. I believe that pass was to Danny Wolf. She was unable to control it. And now the Cyclones have themselves an offensive opportunity again. It's number 9 on the near side, sprinting down. She's under pressure. Ball's knocked away by Tolbert.
Very excellent defensive play by Tolbert right there. Ball will go out of play. Unsure who will have possession here.
Looks like it's going to be a Cyclone corner kick.
Definitely looks that way.
It will be a Cyclone corner kick, first corner kick of the game. Of course, we're tied at 1 with 36 minutes remaining in the first. Ball was just retrieved from behind the net.
Tied up at 1 apiece. Both teams only having 1 shot on goal.
Iowa State in full dark red uniforms today. The Wolverines, dark blues. So I-State looks high. Pass to the lip of the box. We'll have a long shot off. That one's tipped right inside in front of the goal. And Iowa State knocks this one to 2-1.
Just as quickly as I'm complimenting the Wolverines, suffocating this Iowa State team, not letting them get any good looks on the Wolverine end. Suddenly, Iowa State, 3 shots on goal, 2 of them have gone in. 2-1 lead for the Cyclones. Again, did mention it was tipped. Goalie just unable to be on top of that.
And that's 2 times in a row that we've seen Michigan's defense collapse like that. You have to wonder what this spells for the rest of the game. And I don't want to read into signs too early. You remember the Wolverines' first football game against Western Michigan. They looked terrible in that first half. They came out strong. Michigan looking to do the same here. It's Farkas with it. She looks to the near side to Lawrence. Lawrence has it, looks to get it into the box. It's deflected off a Cyclone. That one's quickly scooped up by the goaltender.
Wolverines trying to come out aggressive and hot off of that. What's the term for it? Starting at the at the start of the after that Cyclone goal. Tried to get a decent look at it. Fortunately, was blocked, well scouted by the Cyclones.
Yeah, the Cyclone defense standing strong there. Michigan still applying pressure. Cyclones start with it from a goal kick. They'll start to move things up towards the midfield. Their ball on the far side now. Cyclones getting into position. Errant pass intercepted by a Wolverine. It was Ridgway that got her foot on that one. Fighting for it is Hackinson. Pushed over a bit, and a Cyclone will trip up on the foot of Hackinson. We'll have a foul here. So a free kick for the Cyclones just a few meters past the midfield line in Michigan's territory.
34.5 minutes left in this half. About 10.5 minutes into this game, we've already had 3 goals. Certainly shaping up to be a very exciting one here in Ann Arbor.
So the Cyclones use the free kick to send it deep into Michigan's zone. Kicks a little errant. Twist just a bit too much to the left, out of bounds, and the Wolverines will have the free throw. They look up at first, but opt to play it safe, move things back. So right now, Wolverines looking to get things going. We have a quick sprint up. Hard to get the number. It looks like Kalita on the sprint. Just a tough vantage point from here. And they'll take it to about the midfield, where an errant pass will turn it over to Iowa State.
Decent little possession there for the Wolverines. Unfortunate with that errant pass, but sometimes you just need a little reset. That certainly seems what it looks like this Wolverine squad is doing.
I-State will do the same. They'll swing it around towards the near side. Another pass, quick, off the feet of Tolbert for the Wolverines, but it bounces right back to the red. They'll bring it to the near side once more. It's number 18. She'll look back to the keeper. The keeper will settle things down for I-State. They'll move it to the far side now, making Michigan run.
Really making the Wolverines work for this one, let me tell you.
Ball's launched upfield. A little tussle there. It was a I-State player, and I believe that's Tolbert. They both fell to the ground, but Izzy Nino, the keeper for the Wolverines, scooped the ball up just in time.
Seemed like players were expecting something of a whistle there, but not the case.
She'll launch the ball upfield to Farkas. Quick turnover, however, and Wolverines and Cyclones tussling for it. At about the midpoint of Michigan's territory, the Wolverines come away with the ball unscathed. It's Hackinson looking upfield. She's tripped up. Wolverines looking for the call. Meanwhile, the Cyclones back on the run into Michigan's territory. They'll turn it over quickly. It's Farkas with it now. She has space, opts to kick it upfield, looking for Danny Wolf, doesn't have her. And the keeper launches that one into Michigan's zone. Wolverines get ahead on it, but the Cyclones recover ultimately. They'll pull it back into their territory and slow things down.
Cyclone goaltender really favoring lots of different times here. She really likes to come up and out of that goaltender box. She likes to come real up and close to it.
Absolutely, playing aggressively for the keeper. Ball at about the midfield with the Cyclones controlling. They'll look to move into Michigan's territory. Pass is launched, that one blocked.
Number 7 for the Cyclones, some fancy footwork. Keeping it away from Kalita.
Ball on the near side as the Cyclones move in towards the box. They'll cut to the middle. Errant pass to the Wolverines turns it over, and Michigan will get a fresh start. It's Sammy Woods on the far side. She has Danny Wolf. Looks like she'll opt not to make the pass. She eventually will. Wolf on the run, but it's called offsides.
Oof.
Michigan's best offensive opportunity shaping up there in quite some time.
Certainly. Really hate to see that. Really seemed like 14 Wolf for the Wolverines was going to have a really great look at it, but unfortunately that offsides call will put a stop to it. Score still 2-1 Cyclones. About 31 minutes left in the half. Cyclones with 3 shots on goal. Wolverines with 1. Wolverines will take control of the ball after an errant pass over to Kalita. Struggling with a Cyclone player for a moment before passing it back over to number 4, Ridgeway. Passing it up to number 14. Has the ball at about midfield. Back over to Farkas. Passing it over to, missed the number there.
Wolverines with it on the near side. The Cyclones will gain control, move it back to their keeper to slow things down and reset. 30 minutes remaining in the first half. Keeper with a quick look. She'll opt to choose the left-hand side, so far side now for the Wolverines, at least from our vantage point. Cyclones controlling the ball.
We are on the left side of the field now this year, or at least for this game it would seem. But the Cyclones, a great pass upfield to number 9. Can't seem to get a good look at it. Wolverine defense too suffocating, forced to pass it upfield. At midway point, number 6 for the Cyclones. Not a great pass. Gives possession back over to the Wolverines. Number 3, Woods with the ball, passing it over to number 7, Hackinson. All the way back down to Ridgeway. We'll pass it back to the goalkeeper and over to Tolbert. Wolverines seemingly unable to get anything going with the ball here. Bit of a tussle with the Cyclones, but Wolverines will remain possession. Great pass to a wide open 19 for the Wolverines, Kalita. Wolverines with the ball deep into Cyclone territory on the far right side, but a high kick will go way out of play and give the Cyclone goalkeeper possession here.
Yeah, Kalita looked to move that one into the box. Cyclones will recover with the goal kick, as you said. Under 29 minutes of play left in the first half now. Iowa State still up 2-1 over the Wolverines of Michigan. Cyclone ball, it's all red in the area, under a little bit of pressure now. They'll move it back to the keeper, who will shift it to the far side as the Cyclones look to get this offensive run going. Errant pass upfield. Looks like they were going for number 16 on the Cyclones. Doesn't quite make it. Rolls out of bounds. Michigan will have the throw in at about the midfield. Launched up into Cyclone territory. Doesn't quite make it. It's intercepted by Cyclone. Goes back out of bounds. Michigan ball still.
Can't quite make out the number of who's throwing that in right now.
Yeah, it's tough from the front of the jersey, the smaller font.
Definitely.
We do know that it lands with Sammy Woods.
Ball will go out of play again.
Knocked out by a Cyclone.
Yes, knocked out by a Cyclone. We have Sarah Burdenstein, Jr., throwing the ball in for the Wolverines.
And Woods receives it once more. She moves into the box, and it's knocked away by the Cyclones. Michigan with another opportunity here. It's Farkas, but it's stolen away by a Cyclone.
Cyclones had 2 defenders on there, wrapping her up, making her unable to make a play as a whistle is called against the Wolverine squad here.
Foul on the Wolverines will have a free kick. The Cyclone keeper will actually come up to take this one. It's Jordan Silkowitz.
Attempts to fake the Wolverines out. They do not buy it before passing it over.
So the Cyclones controlling at about the midfield. They move into Michigan's zone under a lot of pressure. Looks like the Wolverines got a foot on it, but Cyclones retain possession. Kick high in the air. The Wolverines have it now. It's Hackinson with it. She looks to the far side. Hard to get a read on the number just yet. Too early in the season. I think it's Sammy Woods with the ball sprinting down. She looks back to Hackinson on the run, trying to get to it before the Cyclones can. She's under pressure, and that ball will move out as she trips up over herself. Cyclones will have the goal kick.
I gotta say, for the Wolverines, I was really worried, especially after that second goal. It really seemed like the team was falling apart quite a little bit. A couple ugly defensive collapses, but they do seem to have recuperated themselves. Seem like they're starting to get the hang of things back again, not letting those two back-to-back goals be the death of them.
Absolutely, and it's only a one-goal deficit. Soccer, anything can happen. Absolutely, luck plays a factor in this game, too. You get the right bounce, you're back on top. It's a tied game. 26-20 remaining in the first half. The Cyclones controlling in their own zone, looking to move into Michigan's territory. They're up to the midfield under a lot of pressure. On the near side is 18. She'll shift it back to the keeper after she was attacked there by Kelly Lawrence.
You do see quick little flashes of that incredible defensive squad the Wolverines had, especially late last year. Perhaps maybe not fully developed yet, but you got to remember this is a new team. Despite several returning players, lots of new pieces that have got to fit into this system.
Absolutely. Ball will roll out down in the far side, Michigan's territory. It'll be a corner kick for the Cyclones, their second of the game.
It's early in the season and early in the game as well. 25 and a half minutes remaining in this first half. Cyclones up 2-1 against the Wolverines.
So Cyclones in similar formation to the last corner kick, with a player high on the near side, multiple players high in the box, and just about one down low within the 6. They'll look high once again. Worked for them last time. This time, not nearly as much. The Wolverines get a foot on it and launch it out to about the midpoint of their zone. Cyclones recover the ball, look to launch it back into the box. Doesn't quite make it off the head of a Wolverine. Ball bouncing in the air will finally be scooped up by Michigan's keeper, Izzy Nino.
Very well scouted by the Wolverines there. Although for a moment it seemed they were unable to clear the ball, they remained calm, stopped the Cyclones from getting a good look at the goal, and managed to get the ball into the goalkeeper's hands for a solid reset.
So Wolverines start with it in their own zone. They turn it over quickly to the Cyclones, who look to apply pressure. Errant pass gives it right back to the Wolverines. It's bouncing all around at about the midpoint. Michigan's territory will have a foul on a Cyclone here. That coming off the feet of Meredith Hackinson. So at about the midpoint on the far side, Michigan's territory, the Cyclones have themselves a free kick.
Cyclones scouting it out. Have a solid formation going. Unsure what they will go with here.
At about the lip of the box, ready to run in when the kick happens. Cyclones will fake it. They launch it to the far side of the box. That one off the head of a Cyclone, but about 10 feet off of the net. Rolls out of bounds. Izzy Nino with have a goal kick for the Wolverines.
Michigan had that fake out scouted. Not fooled, and managed to put the ball harmlessly out of play, giving possession back to the Wolverines goaltender.
Nino with the goal kick. Looks up to Tolbert. She's trying to get the ball to Lawrence, but it's just over her head and rolls out. Cyclones will have a throw in just into their zone.
Number 18, it would seem, for the Cyclones. And it would appear that Iowa State making a few substitutions.
Olivia Edwards with the throw in. She sends it back to Chloe Botten on defense. Botten looks to her left. They'll swing it around. She'll get the ball back real quick. She'll take a moment with it, send it back to the Cyclone keeper as they're under pressure from Michigan's Hackinson.
Passing it back over to number 6, Chloe Broughton.
She'll move it to her left side, a D-to-D pass as they shift into Michigan's territory, looking to set things up and get it going. We've seen a lot of exterior player play from the far sides of the pitch by the Cyclones, and then look to see them try to jump in right to the middle at the very end. Quick run there up the... I want to say that was an offsides call, it seemed.
Whistle is going to be called regardless against the Cyclones. Will be Wolverine possession yet again. Despite a very action-packed opening 10 minutes, neither team, Cyclones have had a few, but Wolverines especially have not had too many good looks at the goal since that very first shot.
Goal kick to about the midfield, received by the Cyclones. They're under a lot of pressure. Wouldn't say they're controlling.
Ooh.
And under that pressure, Hackinson's tripped up. Will have a foul. It'll be the Wolverines' ball. It's on the far side, about the midway point, or between midway and midfield in Michigan's
Roughly,
territory.
more or less.
Ridgway starts it off for Michigan. She moves it over to Tolbert on the near side. Tolbert looks even further on the near side. The Wolverines moving it well now. Quick pass up to Danny Wolf is launched out into the stands. Looks like she had a vision in mind, but in the very end tripped up, questioned herself, and just knocked it out.
You could see the look on her face the second the ball touched her cleat. She was not happy.
Wasn't what she was going for, that's
Definitely
for sure.
not.
Cyclone throw-in, though, quickly recovered by Casey Lawrence. She's been playing aggressive all game. Ball will roll out. It's Michigan's to throw in, and we'll have a quick substitution here.
Number 26 coming in for the Wolverines. Jenna Lang, the freshman. Lots of applause for the freshman coming into play for the Wolverines.
She'll move to about the midfield on offense for Michigan. Throw in, looks to Woods. Woods tries to leave it to Lawrence. She'll grab it, make a run in towards the net in the box. Not quite, it's knocked away. Another Wolverine will grab it. The Cyclones will knock it out. Referees say it knocks off the foot of Michigan, however. There'll be a Cyclone throw in for number 18. It's Olivia Edwards, the defender.
Both teams attempting to make a claim to that out-of-bounds ball, but it will go to Iowa State as we approach 20 minutes remaining in this first half. Wolverines stealing the throw-in.
It's Farkas with the ball entering the zone. She has an opportunity. Slide tackle will move it away.
Unable to get a look that she liked. Certainly looked like she maybe had a kick for a moment, but just was not liking what she was seeing.
Cyclones knock it out. Wolverines will have the throw-in. Back to Sammy Woods. She'll fight for it. It's going to roll out just past the goal line. Referees will call it Cyclone ball. It'll be a goal kick. Tough to see that one, Dolson. It looked like they were both fighting for it, so really do have to defer to the referees on last touch.
Certainly.
Under 20
like
minutes.
You could definitely make a claim to either of them touching the ball last, but at the end of the day, it is the referee's decision.
Cyclones start with it. Goal kick is short. The defender who received it looks to launch it up to the midfield. Cyclones will bring it back, cycle it around.
Pass it back to the Iowa State goalkeeper.
So keeper has it under control. No pressure right now. Woods starts to move at them, and they'll move it around, cycle it, still keeping it low, still in Cyclone territory, although they're looking to move up under a little bit of pressure from the Wolverines. They'll launch it to about the midfield. There, Avery Kalita able to get her chest on it. She jumps up. She'll recover, enter Cyclone territory, looks to Woods. Woods under pressure moves it back to Ridgway. Ridgway has it for a moment. She'll move up. She has the far side. Instead looks midfield. Lily Farkas. Now deep in Cyclone territory, moves it back to the far side. Ooh. It's Hackinson with it. She misses the pass. Able to get a toe on it as she slides, shifts it back to Farkas. Now midpoint of Cyclone territory at the midfield lip of the box. She looks down to the far side. No one's there. A Cyclone will intercept the pass and end the Wolverines' momentum.
Really felt like you were watching something great for him there, despite a missed pass. Gone a little too far right, I believe, of Farkas, I believe.
Cyclones launch it up. It's going to be Salome Pratt that keeps it in bounds on the far side of Michigan's territory. She looks to the far, or rather our near side, excuse me. No one's there. It will be a Michigan goal kick. We'll also have a Wolverine substitution here, it seems. Number 5, Callie Burrow.
Kelly Lawrence coming out for the Wolverines. As I was mentioning a second ago, I believe it was Farkas had a pass that went a little too right of her, but she managed to make an excellent recovery, passing the ball over. Fortunately, couldn't amount to anything, but you really like to see that amount of hustle on this squad.
Yeah, they were putting a lot of pressure on the Cyclones in their own territory. It's an I-State ball, but they'll turn it over in the box deep in Michigan zone. So Michigan has it now. It's Bridenstine making a run with it, I believe. Hard to see the numbers from here.
It's the perfect amount of shade hitting the field. Kind of makes those numbers a little hard to make out at times.
Michigan has it on the near side. Burrell looks over. She's got, I believe that's Jenna Lang.
Yes.
Lang will move it back to Farkas. Farkas takes her time with it, not too much pressure on her. Launches it deep to the far side where the Wolverines are able to recover it after a nice defensive play by the Cyclones. Top of the box for the Wolverines. Woods has it, moves to the far side. She'll get a kick off. Not too much will come of it. Cyclone keeper scoops it up real quick.
Certainly not the best look on goal, but have to admire her not wanting that opportunity to go to waste. Sometimes a weak shot is better than no shot at all. Cyclones with possession.
Less than 16 minutes remaining in the first half here.
Excuse me. Hope that didn't pick up on camera. on mic.
Cyclone ball. They'll move it around in their own territory about the midpoint on the near side. It's number 6 looking upfield. She'll move it to the midfield where they'll tussle for it. Farkas applying pressure. Sorry, stole your words there.
You're fine.
Moves it over to Kalita. Kalita stolen away. It's moved back for the Wolverines. They'll shift it around. It's Tolbert. Looks to move it over. A quick D-to-D pass to Ridgway. Ridgway moves this one deep upfield. Looks like she was looking to reach Sammy Woods. Ball's intercepted by Cyclone off the head. Quickly recovered by the Wolverines, however. After a little bit of a tussle, will move all the way back into Michigan territory. Ball quickly moved over to the far side. Wolverines will re-enter the Cyclone zone, and they'll move it around there. It's Hackinson. Just tap and go. Ball ends all the way back up in the feet of Ridgway.
Wolverines waiting for that right opportunity to strike that just isn't coming. 14:45 left in the first half. Cyclones still up 2-1 over the Wolverines.
So Hackinson with it still in Michigan territory. She looks deep upfield. The Wolverines chasing after her. Can't read the number in the sunlight. She won't get there in time. The Cyclones move it to their keeper, who launches it up to the far side. That one rolls out just below the midfield line.
Ball will stay here on the Cyclone side. Wolverines ball for the throw-in. Tosses it over to number 26, Jenna Lang.
Lang knocked down, draws a foul. It'll be a free kick for the Wolverines. Looks like Lang will be the one to take it. Referee marks the placement of it. Clock's still ticking. We're under 14 left in the first half now.
This would be a really great opportunity for the Wolverines to turn the tide, flip the table on these Iowa State Cyclones, whose defense has just been excellent since that very first shot on goal. Michigan
at the top of the box. Ball's launched in off the knee of a Cyclone. That one rolls back out. Michigan quickly recovers, however, off an errant pass. It was Hackinson recovering. She looked for another Wolverine. I think it was Sammy Woods she was trying to reach, but doesn't quite get there. Ball rolls out. It'll be a Iowa State goal kick.
Michigan making a substitution. The freshman, number 21, Vicky Jones, coming in for the Wolverines. Avery Kalita coming out.
Ball back in play. Iowa State controlling in their territory. They look upfield. It's an errant pass recovered by Michigan. Iowa State gets a foot back on it real quick, however. Regains control at the midfield. Plenty of time for the Cyclones. Little bit of pressure there. They'll swing it all the way to the near side where 18 looks to tap it right over, but quick turnover. by the Cyclones. What happened there? I'm sorry. Paused out of shock. Very excited
Yes.
over what was going to happen. So the Cyclones lost control. The Cyclone
Yellow
defender.
card called for the Cyclone defender. Not quite sure what the number was for the Cyclones, but a tussling and a trip up will give the Wolverines
Chloe
the
Bowden,
ball.
number 6, earned that yellow card there for the Cyclones. So first yellow card awarded so far in the game. Michigan with only 2 shots to Iowa State's 3 with a free kick. They'll pull a fake here. Shot looks to be on goal. It's a bouncer. Crowd got quite excited there, but scooped up by Iowa's keeper, Jordan Silkowitz.
26, Jenna Lang took the shot on the penalty kick. Doesn't seem like it hit another soul till it fell into the goalkeeper's hands.
Just a few bounces here and there. Cyclones controlling the ball now in their zone. They look deep upfield. Michigan will get there first, but it will be a close one. And the Cyclones will ultimately move it back. Shot is launched. That one could have been a field goal. That one way over the crossbar. No worry whatsoever for Izzy Nino.
Iowa State football team should be keeping an eye on her. That was quite a launch.
Now, Dolson, we do have some college football tonight.
We do. We got the backyard brawl between the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Pittsburgh Panthers. I had to think about it for a second. I was like, I know about these teams.
Hey, you know more than I do. Of course, Michigan football back in play on Saturday. Zach Linfield and the crew on the call there. Noon right here on WCBN's YouTube channel. Ball's back in play. A foul called on Tamia Tolbert. She's knocked over at about the midpoint of the Wolverine zone.
Number 12 for the Wolverines, Tolbert, taking the kick over to Ridgeway. As you mentioned, the Wolverine broadcast against the Colorado State Rams this Saturday at noon, featuring Zach Linfield and the crew, including me. So if you can't get enough of my voice, be sure to tune in for that one.
All right, Ryan. I'll definitely tune in after. I'll be in the student section during the game, but I'll listen to the highlights. Wolverines move the ball up into the Cyclone zone, rolls out on the far side, quick throw in to get things going once more. They're moving down towards the box, but a quick kick deflects off of a Cyclone's chest. And Red has control of the ball now. Errant pass will turn it back over to Michigan. We're going back and forth here.
Definitely you can tell it's a very early game for both of these teams. Quite a few errant passes, a few sloppy mistakes on both sides.
They're definitely still getting to know each other, getting their legs underneath them.
That is to be
Farkas
expected.
with the ball at about the midpoint of the Cyclone zone, moving in towards the top of the box. She'll take a shot. That one's going to drift far away from the net. Still, will draw the attention of Silkowitz, who dives at it.
Dove for that one like her life depended on it.
I know, that
But
one.
it would seem that she does, as it is going to be a corner kick for the Wolverines. Very big moment here. Could be a deciding factor as we enter with 10 minutes remaining in the half. Less than 10 minutes.
Sarah
Cyclones up
Bridenstine
2-1.
will take the kick for Michigan. Michigan with 2 players low in the box, a few more high. They're all over the place. Wolverine will get her head on it. However, it's not on net. Drifts out. Cyclones will have themselves a goal kick.
Iowa State making a few substitutions. Number 14 for the Cyclones coming in. That will be Lauren Hernandez. Cyclones still up 2-1. 9:20 left in this first half. Both teams have 4 shots on goal. Iowa State with the deciding one.
Of course, like you said, Iowa State up 2-1 so far in this match. Still is early in the game. 10 minutes left in the first, 9 minutes left rather in the first half. Iowa State turns it over to the Wolverines at midfield. It's Farkas fighting for it. She'll actually lose control to a Cyclone. Cyclones under a lot of pressure, however, turn it back over to Michigan, just a tad deep into Michigan's territory.
Farkas was fighting for her life out there for just a moment with those 2 Cyclone defenders on both sides.
Bridenstine moves it to Ridgeway, who moves it back to the keeper. It's a quick give and go back at the feet of Ridgeway. She looks upfield. I think that was back to Bridenstine. Hard to see the numbers once more. Ridgeway regains control of the ball, looks upfield. It's going to end up in no man's zone. No man's land, rather. The Cyclone keeper scoops it up. Under a lot of pressure from Sammy Woods. Cyclones get things started quickly as they look to reset. They're moving up into Michigan zone. Quick kick under pressure, however, will turn it over to Michigan. Here come the Wolverines. It's Hackinson. She'll pull up to slow things down. Looks to the far side to Woods. Woods tries to give it back to Hackinson, but ends up turning it over to a Cyclone. Tries to reset things. Still under a lot of pressure. The Cyclones knock it out on the far side. It will be a Wolverine throw-in Cyclone territory.
7 minutes, 40 seconds left here in this first half. And a beautiful day in Ann Arbor.
Absolutely. Michigan with possession after the throw-in. Looking down the far side. Seems to be Bridenstine fighting for it. Under attack from two Cyclones. That one's knocked out just before the goal line. It'll be a throw-in deep into Cyclone territory. She has Hackinson as well as Lang. Opts to keep it close. Ball launched into the zone, or excuse me, the box, but quickly knocked away by the Cyclones, who regain control, start to move it towards Michigan zone. Quick turnover under pressure from Farkas and Dolson. We've been talking about that all day. That pressure will get you once the Wolverines get going. Wolverines regain control, launch it back into Cyclone territory. No man's land once more. Cyclones regain possession. 6:47 remaining in the first half. They look to move it up to the midfield where the Wolverines get it once more. It's Farkas with it. She looks to launch it into the box. No one's there. Silkowitz scoops it up. Looks like she's directing some of her teammates right now, trying to get them to move a little farther to the sides of the field.
Time running out in this first half to leave it with the most momentum.
Wolverines regain control but turn it over quickly, so it's a Cyclone ball still in their zone. Move it to about the midfield but slow things down and bring it back under pressure. It's number 12 for the Cyclones with it midfield. She looks to the near side to 18. That's Olivia Edwards. Edwards looks back to Chloe Botten. Botten back to the keeper, Silkowitz. She has options on the near and far sides. She'll opt for the far side to number 10, Candy Adams. So Adams with it, dribbling, takes her time and then launches one deep upfield. Looks like she's trying to find Keck, who gets there in time. Now deep into Michigan territory on the far side, trying to cut in towards the box.
Attempt to kick towards the goal will hit Bridenstine and will roll out of bounds. Cyclones' opportunity at yet another corner kick, their third of the day.
Michigan only has one.
Approaching 5 minutes left here in this first half. Iowa State Cyclones holding on to a 2-1 lead. Somewhat comfortably, but again in soccer, all it takes, one good look, one good pass.
So the Cyclones will have the corner kick here, like you said, their third of the game. And they seem to be running that same formation just from the opposite side. We'll look to see where they launch this one. They have players scattered throughout the box, as well as a few high at the lip. This one, just right into the box, standard corner kick formation. The Cyclone seems to be the last one to touch it, knocks it out. Although that might have been a Wolverine. Excuse me there, that was a Wolverine. My apologies.
Fourth corner kick of the game for Iowa State compared to the Wolverines' one.
We'll switch sides here. It goes out on the near side. So Cyclones have the corner kick on the near side. Again, standard formation that we've seen from I-State all game. Here's the kick. Same choice. They move it in towards the box. Deflects off a Wolverine out towards the midfield where Cyclone defenders are there to scoop it up, move it back in towards the box. So the Cyclones get it started once more. Under a lot of pressure, but deep in Michigan territory on the near side. It's 23, under a lot of pressure from Burrell.
Ball will be kicked, will deflect off a Wolverine player and go out of bounds.
So
giving
once
the
more,
Cyclones their fifth corner kick of the half. I can't even say day yet because we're not even done with the first half. 3.5 minutes remaining here.
So here's the kick. Same place as the past two. Deep into the box, but it's launched out towards midfield after a Wolverine gets their head on it. Cyclones will swing it around under a lot of pressure from Hackinson. They look to the far side deep. And it's number 19 for the Cyclones chasing after it. She'll look to cut in, takes a shot. That's off the, I want to say the back of the leg of Ridgway. Wolverines move it up. It's Farkas controlling. She has it stolen from her at midfield, turns it back over to Hackinson. So Hackinson back to Farkas on the near side. They look to Burrell. Burrell has it. She's under pressure, but has some space. Quick move around the defender. That was beautiful. Looks to cross it. Are the Wolverines there for it? And a quick whiff in the box.
You hate to see it. The best look I think either team has had all game. Some beautiful footwork by Burrell.
Beautiful setup there, Dolson.
Beautiful pass in the box. And unfortunately, the Wolverines will whiff it, but will have control as they throw the ball in. 2.5 minutes remaining.
Maize and
Ball
Blue
in the
faithful.
Cyclone box.
Pumped up to see Burrell starting to enter her stride. The freshman showing some signs of life for the Wolverines. She's controlling the ball now deep on the near side. Trying to cut in. She'll have it knocked away by an I-State defender. It's going to be a Wolverine corner kick with 2 minutes left in the first half.
Burrell, she is looking incredible out there for a freshman. You can see so much potential for her already. You know she is going to be an explosive element for this Wolverine team this year.
Most definitely. Clock under 2 minutes. Now Wolverines with the corner kick.
Going to be number 15 kicking it in for the Wolverines, Bridenstine.
Sarah Bridenstine with the kick in towards the box. This one off the head of, hard to tell whose head that knocked. All we know is that chasing after it for the Wolverines will knock it back towards the box where finally a Wolverine gets their head on it. That one will roll out. It'll be a goal kick for the Cyclones. Sorry, lost my
train of thought there.
Not train of thought, but who exactly was kicking it? I looked down to search it. You lose it. It's too early in the season. I got to get these names memorized. But
exactly.
That is a problem for tomorrow.
Got a minute left here in the first half. Iowa State up 2-1. Whistle will be blown against the Cyclones. Time running out here in this first half. Wolverines want to get something going, maybe get a goal, and enter into halftime with some insane momentum.
Absolutely. Michigan has been controlling the ball as of late. Throw in deep, knocked up towards the midfield. 40 seconds left on the clock, and you can see it in Michigan's intensity. Putting a lot of pressure on the Cyclones, still unable to recover the ball. Cyclones have it, moving towards the midfield. It's number 10. She keeps it at the center of the field. The Cyclones will cycle this one back. We'll see if they'll look to use the last 20 seconds for offense. They will. They'll launch it deep into Michigan's territory. No one's there. Seems like they're just buying time, Dolson.
Would definitely agree. 10 seconds left. Goalkeeper for the Wolverines launching it upfield. Bit of a fight here at midfield. Both teams know nobody's going to get anything done before the half as the clock hits 0. Cyclones be up 2-1 on your Michigan Wolverines. Cyclones with 5 corner kicks and 4 shots on goal. Wolverines with 2 corner kicks and 4 shots on goal.
We've seen quite the game so far, Dolson. What remains to be seen is if the Wolverines can keep their momentum going. We've seen numerous opportunities. Burrell starting to fit into her stride with the team. We'll see if they can get anything done. They've had numerous opportunities. They struck early, and the Cyclones came back real quick. They responded, but we haven't seen that same force from them as we saw early on in the match.
Certainly not.
So all comes down to the second half. We hope you stick with us here on WCBN. Halftime's about 15 minutes on the clock. We'll be back, or right back, for the start of the second half. Beautiful sunset here in Ann Arbor. Looks like we're in for a treat when we get back with you on the radio. We'll see you in 15. Keep it here, WCBN Sports. Iowa State 2, Michigan 1 after one half of play here at the Soccer Complex. It's Michigan women's soccer on WCBN. Before we break down that first half, though, Ryan, we want to talk a little bit about college football because God knows college football is back, better than ever, and we are pumped up for it. You got some scores for us.
I've been waiting so long. Maybe not everybody agrees, but that Nebraska versus Northwestern game, that was the perfect appetizer.
Oh, my God. In Ireland, Scott Frost onside kick. You love to see it.
That was hilarious. But we got, on the backyard brawl, West Virginia beating number 17 Pitt 7-3. Tennessee putting on up 24 against Ball State in the first quarter. And in local news, we got Central Michigan down 23-7, excuse me, with 11:32 left in the second quarter. So plenty of time for Central Michigan to turn it around, but also plenty of time for Oklahoma State to make it much worse.
Some Thursday night fun for those of you, and hopefully you stick with us for the second half, but I'll sure will be turning on the TV when I get back later tonight. And of course,
absolutely,
Michigan State playing tomorrow night.
They play Western Michigan in a directional Michigan matchup. Honestly, I love to see those. Those really don't happen as often as they should anymore.
I like that they at least keep it local for that. You
right?
know,
might as well. If you're going to play Cupcake for your first game,
You're not playing Power 5. I would much rather be playing Western or Central Michigan right now than
Colorado State or UConn.
Because there's no connection.
Don't let Harbaugh hear me say that. I know he's an avid listener.
Avid
He's the
listener.
dedicated fanatic. He's the dedicated fanatic that we have never been able to pinpoint.
All right, clock strikes down. We're ready to begin the second half of play. Dolson, what did you like from Michigan that first half?
Definitely had a bit of a slow start, but then again, so did Iowa State. Michigan with a good look on that very first shot on goal, and really have not had too many looks since then. That first shot on goal, of course, went in, giving them a 1-0 lead. They did have a couple decent opportunities, but none of their actual shots on goal have really felt like they had that much of a realistic chance. Iowa State answered back with 2 back-to-back goals almost immediately within like 3 minutes of each other. Wolverines really seemed like they were struggling, a lot of defensive collapses, but they really seem to have gotten their act together, at least defensively, and they are coming out of this second half with a bang. They got some intensity, they got some excitement. Let's get to it.
So Wolverines controlling, they'll bring it back into their zone, send it to the keeper to start things off and reset. They started with the ball this half. You were talking about that second half of play. I'd say the biggest story was Iowa State responding with those 2 goals after Michigan came out hot, and then the Wolverines couldn't find the back of the net since. Iowa State will get a shot off. It's high. That one coming from the top of the box, misses the net by at least 10 feet.
Very early in the season, especially against a team that you really don't have much of a history of playing. As I said early in the broadcast, the Wolverines and the Cyclones have only faced off against each other once, and that was in 2003. Sometimes, especially against an unfamiliar team, sometimes, both teams played just a little bit sloppy, had a couple costly mistakes in that first half, especially early on. Both teams definitely seem to have fallen into a groove recently.
So the Wolverines controlling in Iowa State's territory. It's Burrell with it. She looks to the near side. Bridenstine chases after it, but she's under pressure. She'll have the ball knocked out. It's going to be Michigan's on the throw-in. It's deep on the near side.
Seems that Bridenstine is going to be the one to throw it in, or kick it in, excuse me.
Apparently we had a foul called there. I missed that one. Sorry about that.
Definitely did not notice that one either. I got this big pillar in front of me, though.
All right, excuses. Ball kicked into the box. That one will dribble, or rather roll towards the far side, where Cyclone will pick it up and look to get things started. They're under a lot of pressure, however. It's Farkas fighting for it. Foul called, and it'll be a free kick for the Cyclones.
Definitely an aggressive start to this half by both teams. Michigan especially, although they haven't had too many good looks or a very strong possession just yet, you can definitely tell they're playing with a fire.
Sun's starting to set here in Ann Arbor. A little bit of pinkish hue on the left side of the sky from our vantage point. If you look behind us, behind the stadium, behind the grandstand. Quite a beautiful sunset we've got going on right now. Cyclones controlling in their own zone. They'll wrap it around as they look towards the near side to get some offense going. Pass attempted for number 19 of the Cyclones rolls out. Michigan will get things started once more. They'll do so by bringing it back towards the defense, cycling it around. Ridgway looks to the far side. Hard to get a read on that number 17. It's Emily Layson, the senior, on defense. Will look upfield. Wolverines will cycle it back down. It's Ridgway on the near side again with it. Errant pass right into the shins of a Cyclone, however. The Cyclones will start to make a run. Quick defensive thinking from Bridenstine will knock it out on the near side, so we'll have a throw in just at about our vantage point.
Coming in 41-45 left in the second half. Still plenty of time, although we haven't had a goal in quite some time from either team in this game.
Wolverines regain control after the throw-in. It's Anaya League looking back to the keeper. Keeper will send it to the near side where Ridgway looks back to the keeper once more. So Izzy Nino under pressure there. Now to the far side to Layson. Layson upfield finds Lawrence. Lawrence has it now at the midfield line on the far side. She looks to give it deep. Can't quite find her target.
Cyclones will take possession of the ball here in Cyclone territory. Some Wolverines scouting it defensively well. And that is going to be Burrell stealing the ball for the Wolverines, passing it over to Wolf.
Danny Wolf can't quite get around the defender who will knock it out. It'll be a Wolverine corner kick, their third of the game now to I-State's 5. See if they can tie this game up here. Dolson, that would be an exciting start to the first half for the Maize and Blue.
Starting to even those numbers up, but there's only one number I want to see evened up right now. Can't tell who is making the corner kick.
Kick comes in, it's deep into the box. Ridgway gets her head on it, but it's not enough, and I-State will move that one out on the far side. This time it'll be a throw-in at about the midpoint of I-State's territory. For the record, Sarah Bridenstine had the kick in from the corner.
That she did. Bit too much juice on that one as it sailed over most players' heads.
Throw into Hackinson. She'll move it back to the defense, who will look to the far side. Errant pass, however, ends up in the feet of a Cyclone. They turn it back over to the Wolverines, who once more turn it back over to the Cyclones. As the Cyclones look up, they accidentally give it right to Kalita. Kalita moving upfield, but under pressure. Ball is tipped out of bounds. They'll call this one off the foot of Kalita, so it will be a Cyclone throw.
Wolverines having lots of great, brilliant moments here. They just can't seem to make opportunities out of them. Bit of aggressive play happening there.
Throw in, Kalita's tripped up.
Yep.
The Wolverines, however, will come out with the ball. It's Bridenstine on the near side. She'll bring it back to the keeper. Nino looks to her left. She has Layson. Layson sends it upfield.
Cyclones have really seemed defensively. They have had this Wolverine squad locked down since that very first shot on goal that went in.
Yeah, well, the Wolverines only have 4 shots so far. Of course, the Cyclones only have 5, but what really matters is their 2 goals to the Wolverines' 1. We'll have a foul at about midfield on Bridenstine. She'll get the free kick.
She gets tripped up just a little bit, it would seem. No, in fact, it is going to be Ridgway to take the kick on that one.
Ridgway knocks it to Hackinson. Hackinson looks to her left. She'll find Kalita. Kalita looks to slow slings down, brings it back to Layson. Layson, a D-to-D pass over to Ridgway. Ridgway looks to take it up to the midfield line. She has Burrell. Burrell looks to her left. There she is, Kalita. Kalita further to the left to the far side as the Wolverines start to move it around. Just as it looks like they're starting to get things going, Cyclone will knock it out for a Wolverine throw-in.
Coming in, 38 minutes left in the half. Cyclone still up, 2-1.
Throw attempted for Burrell. She'll let it get by her, but she'll knock it right towards the zone. No one's there to receive the pass, however. Cyclones recover. They're sprinting down towards Michigan territory now.
Would have been an absolutely beautiful look, but tragically no Michigan players there to take the pass.
Cyclones dump this ball into Michigan zone. It's recovered by Bridenstine, who sends it over to Nino at goal. Nino to the near side to Ridgway. Ridgway has it. Short look to Bridenstine, right back to Ridgway. Ridgway to Nino, back at net. Nino fakes the look to the far side. She chooses the near side, back to Ridgway. Taps it to Bridenstine, right back to Ridgway. This time she'll shake things up on us to Farkas, the middle of the field. Farkas looks to the far side, where Layson's waiting for it. Quick give and go. Ball back to Layson, and she'll shift it back to Nino at keeper. Nino, plenty of time, not under pressure. However, Cyclones are slowly encroaching on Michigan's zone. We'll move it to the far side here. Passed off to Hackinson. She'll move it upfield to Lawrence. Lawrence starts dribbling. She'll cross into Cyclone territory. She's at the midfield, just at about the center circle. Swings it over to the near side, where Bridenstine is there to receive it. She'll trip up a Cyclone defender, maintain possession of the ball, and in a quick defensive move will accidentally move this one out past the goal line for a Cyclone goal kick.
Want to commend Burrell for some very fancy footwork there just a moment ago, keeping it away from the Cyclone defenders and keeping the play alive.
Goal kick for the Cyclones. They'll keep it short and sweet to the far side. Cyclones start to get things going. They move it up towards the midfield. Slide tackle attempt, knocks it away, but they will regain possession quickly. Here they come deep into Michigan territory. They're in the zone. The ball will actually roll out off of a Wolverine. That's Anaya League.
Yet another, not quite sure, goaltender for the Wolverines disagreeing with the call.
Nino definitely seemed to think that rolled off the foot of a Cyclone. From my vantage point, that's what it looked like. However, saw the referee call that it was off of the Wolverines. So they'll have their 6th corner kick of the game, Dolson.
Ridiculous amount of corner kicks. 10 corner kicks in this game, and the Cyclones will choose to pass it over to a nearby defender. Not a very gutsy corner kick.
Well, we've seen so many from them. My guess would be they're looking to change up the strategy. Their first play, of course, it worked. They scored a goal. And then after that, they switched it up. Just weren't having anything come from it, so they looked to get some things going with the short pass. Nothing does. The Wolverines controlling the ball, but under heavy pressure in their own zone. That pressure will actually lead for Bridenstine to knock it out of bounds. Cyclones will have a throw in deep on the near side in Michigan's zone,
allowing the Wolverines to reset. Bridenstine, the lone defender back there against 2 Cyclones, wisely making the decision to knock the ball out of bounds. Coming up, 34 minutes, 40 seconds left in this second half. Score unchanged. 3 goals scored in about the first 10 minutes of the game and nothing since. Quite an odd sight for soccer as the Cyclones pass it in, but the Wolverines able to take control. Number 6, Lawrence, fighting off defenders.
She'll sprint up quick, passing the midfield line. She'll move it upfield to Wolf. Wolf on the far side, just at the corner of the box, tries to get past the Cyclone defender and will actually push her down to the ground. We'll have a foul here, it seems,
on Wolf.
So Danny Wolf can't quite get it past the Cyclone defender. Little bit of aggression there, and the Cyclone defender fell.
Some real energy and excitement from some Wolverines on that attempt, but fortunately unable to amount to anything. Cyclone ball.
Cyclones start by ringing it around to the near side. They'll move it back to midfield.
Hackinson threatens for just a moment.
Quick tussle at the midfield.
Take possession after said tussle.
And like you said, the Wolverines take possession back. It's number 19, Kalito, controlling. She'll move it to the near side to Bridenstine. Bridenstine sprinting upfield. She's under pressure now. She'll pull it back, slow things down, moving it back over to Ridgway. Ridgway looks to her left. She'll opt to choose Nino in net to slow it down. Nino will move it to the left-hand side. It's Layson there to receive the pass. She has options, opts back to Nino. Nino to the near side once more, Ridgway. So Ridgway, not too much pressure, but the Wolverines do this. You see the Cyclones start to encroach. It's back to Nino at net. She
really
moves it back to Ridgway.
Anything they're liking just yet.
And I credit them for creating space here. They're doing a good job, but slowly the Cyclones will continue to move in. That might be their goal, drawing in that forecheck.
It would seem so, after she attempted to launch the ball upfield. But a Cyclone head stopping it in its tracks.
Didn't quite work out for them there, although they'll launch it back, dumping it into Michigan's zone. And Nino is there to pick it up once more. She has time and looks to the near side for Ridgway. Ridgway, plenty of time, not under pressure. She'll move it upfield to Burrell. Burrell, upfield once more, still in the center of the field. Crossing in to the Cyclones' territory with a pass there. Ball will end up every which way at the feet of Lawrence, who has it. She'll move it to Hackinson. Hackinson under pressure, shifts it back to Burrell. Burrell, back to Ridgway. Ridgway to the left-hand side, of the far side to Layson. So Layson and Ridgway in Michigan zone right now, passing it to each other. Layson has the ball, and Ridgway was pointing for her to move it up, but she'll actually give it to Ridgway. Ridgway has it. She looks up. She has Burrell under pressure. Burrell looks to move it towards the middle.
Hackinson with a light pass over to Farkas.
Farkas to the far side. That one's given off to League. League shifts it back to the middle to Farkas. Shot attempted. It's off the shins of a Cyclone. Bounces back to the midpoint of the Cyclone zone, where they control and are starting to make a run towards Michigan zone. Crossing the midfield line now is a red shirt. They'll move it more towards our side here, the near side. They'll shift it all the way over to number 15 on the near side. Quick move around the Michigan defenders, doesn't do much. They'll swing it across the box and turn it over to Michigan. It's Kalita that knocks it away. The Cyclones regain control, however, at about the midpoint of Michigan's zone. Look to get things started once more. Under a lot of pressure, Farkas, and I want to say that's League down there.
It would seem, I would assume no, I think it's Lawrence, actually, who is down there.
Now, the one thing...
nearly intercepting the pass, but it will stay with the Cyclones right there. Apologies. Really feels like a play could develop any second, but it will not, as the Cyclones take a not strong kick to the goal that is easily scouted by Nino.
I mean, that's a shot. It's just a tough angle. Of course, your chances to knock that in from that side decrease the further you go down, and that was a launch just from the absolute farthest point you could. So the Wolverines will start things back up. 30 minutes on the clock left in the second half. Michigan down 1 to the Cyclones of Iowa State. They're moving it around in their back end. Under pressure now. Iowa State no longer taking this back and forth. Michigan gets on a run here. They'll move it up to Bridenstine. Bridenstine to the middle to Hackinson. She's got it at midfield. Looks to her left. She has Farkas. Farkas moving up. They're at the middle of the Cyclone zone now, in the middle of the field. They'll move it over to Burrell. Burrell with a shot. That one misses the goal on the left-hand side by just a few feet.
Definitely a strong kick, a great look, but just a little too far left on that one. And even if it wasn't, I think the goalie might have been right there. She had a very solid dive.
Still an exciting opportunity for the Wolverines.
Oh,
they start to get some play going. Hopefully we see more of that from them. Just a moment. Few substitutions here for Michigan.
Tolbert coming in, it would seem. Yep, Tolbert coming on, as shown on the big screen here in Ann Arbor. Beautiful, gorgeous night.
It really is. You remember when it was snowing here last time we called a game?
I think about that all the time. It's really one of the more magical games I've ever broadcasted.
It was a good time. Wolverines with the ball. It's Farkas. She looks to move it in. They're deep in Cyclone territory. It's knocked out by a red shirt. The Cyclones will continue to move it towards the midfield, but turn it over to Michigan. Michigan's defenders with it, but under pressure. They'll cycle it back. It's going to be Layson with it at about the midfield. She's pretty far from her normal spot. Shifts it to the near side to Bridenstine, who's under pressure now. She'll shift it back to Layson. Layson, opposite, run this one up through the midfield. She'll sprint, loses it eventually to number 21 of the Cyclones.
She'll be right back there in an attempt to take back possession.
Now,
unsuccessful, but certainly putting the pressure on these Cyclones.
Absolutely, and Michigan controlling now at the midfield. You'll see one thing, especially if you watch this team in person, is that if you're fooling around with the ball at the midfield, the Wolverines will have a player on you instantly. They will apply pressure. The only time they don't is when the Cyclones are controlling deep in their own territory.
Certainly.
Michigan
Definitely.
with the ball at midfield now. They'll swing it around the back end, looking at Tolbert. She's back in the game now. She'll look to her right-hand side to Layson. Layson looks upfield but gets it back real quick. She's under pressure. Good escape move there. Moves it to the near side to Bridenstine, who starts to move things upfield. She'll pass it to Lawrence at the middle of the field, about the midpoint of the Cyclones' territory as well. Her pass, errant, intercepted by a Cyclone who punts it back down into Michigan's zone. We'll restart the process. It's Layson upfield. She looks. She had Burrell there. Burrell to 26. That's Jenna Lang, the freshman. Lang, errant pass, intercepted by the Cyclones. Still in Cyclone territory, the Wolverines applying pressure, regain control at midfield. Still the center of the field as well. Layson will regain it as they move it back again, looking to start things up. Layson keeps getting this ball.
Definitely.
And it's because she does a great job seeing the field. She'll move it up to Burrell, who will eventually have the ball knocked out by a Cyclone defender. So Michigan earns the throw-in here.
Definitely a different style of play from Iowa State, especially on this half. Very obviously on the defensive, not looking for more goals, more so looking to maintain the lead they currently have.
Now, my counter-argument to that, Dolson, would be that the Wolverines are just applying so much pressure here. Iowa State hasn't been able to really get anything going. We're tied in shots. Scoreboard does not reflect that, however. Michigan controlling deep on the near side in Iowa State territory. We have a tough collision there.
Both
Danny
girls
Wolf
seem to
Iowa
be
State
okay.
player. Wolf, I think she went in the air for a few seconds there.
Definitely got a little airborne. Had some hang time on that one.
My credit to her, they get right back up.
I do not envy either of them. Did not look pleasant.
No, not at all. 25 minutes remaining in the second half. We're approaching the midway point of the half, so the Wolverines need to get some energy going. Soccer is not too kind in those final few moments if you're still down by a goal. Free kick deep in the near side. Launch. This one's going to go in for the Wolverines.
Beautiful.
Michigan ties it up.
Beautiful penalty shot. Absolutely incredible. Might not have looked like it had the right angle. The goalie gets her hand on it for the Cyclones, but not enough to stop the ball, hitting that top left, beautiful corner shot.
Perfect placement, and that's what I'm talking about. So Danny Wolf draws the foul there. The Wolverines get an opportunity, and they take advantage. We've seen the tides of energy shifting in their favor all half, and this really is the culmination of it. They fought for it. That's what they deserve. They earned that goal there, Dolson.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Cyclones got to be kicking themselves for that one, but really just well played, well scouted, well planned. Every step of the way by the Wolverines there. Tying it up at 2, 25 and a half minutes coming up on the half.
So Jenna Lang, the freshman, with her first goal of the season for the Wolverines.
Absolutely love to see it. The freshman with a beautiful shot, absolutely beautiful look, had the goaltender beat on that one.
Now I'd love to keep talking about it, but we're back to play here. The Cyclones controlling now in their own territory under a little bit of pressure from the Wolverines. They have some space. They'll launch this one into Michigan's zone where the Wolverines get ahead on it. It's going to be Lang controlling at about the midfield. She looks upfield, but the Wolverines will actually pull it back, this time to Layson. Layson moves it to Tolbert. Tolbert to the far side where the Wolverines keep the offense moving upwards. It's Farkas with the ball now. She looks to Sammy Woods. Woods, escape move. Back over to Farkas. Farkas down the far deep side. Cyclone territory. Michigan will get an opportunity. They'll get a shot off. It's blocked by a defender.
Well played on both sides there. Michigan had a lot of very good looks on it and didn't score, not for a lack of trying though, just due to how well those Cyclone defenders were there, stopping every opportunity.
So 24 minutes remaining in the second half here from the UM Soccer Complex. We're tied at 2. Michigan and I-State
trading blows this half, especially after that Wolverine goal, it would seem.
Of course, the
Both
Cyclones
teams.
struck back real quick after the Wolverines last scored. We'll see if they have any response here. It's Jenna Lang shifting it deep into Cyclone territory. The keeper will grab it, scoop it up, send it to the near side. Cyclones start to move on the near side. Errant pass will send it out. Turnover back to the Wolverines.
Gotta love the amount of energy and excitement Jenna Lang is playing in. As a freshman, coming in, trying to make a name for herself on the squad. And I'd say so far today, she's definitely done so.
Bridenstine takes the throw in, tapped around a few times, ends up in the feet of a Cyclone. They'll shift it back to their keeper as they look to regain the momentum here. It's been all Michigan for the past few minutes here at the UM Soccer Complex. They'll cycle it around on the far side. They'll actually just do a cross pitch pass there. Move it up to number 11. Try with the give and go, but they turn it over to Michigan. It's going to be Kalita intercepting that pass, but ball goes off the foot of a Wolverine, and Cyclones will have a throw-in deep in Michigan territory.
I've definitely noticed this. This definitely happened a lot in several of the games I paid attention to last year, but this game especially. Second halves almost always belong to the Wolverines. They love to wear and tear these teams out, get them tired, get them exhausted, maybe a tiny little bit complacent, and that's when they strike. That's exactly what they've been doing so far in this half, which, as you said, has all belonged to the Wolverines.
Well, this is a very well-conditioned team. We see that every game. We saw that last year deep in the playoffs. I think back to that Penn State game. Penn State always came out tough. They came out aggressive. They would start it up quick. The Wolverines were just able to outlast the Nittany Lions. And we see that reflected here. Their pacing is up. However, the Cyclones will have an opportunity here. The ball rolls out the back end. It'll be a corner kick for Iowa State.
This is going to be their 7th of the day. Plenty of corner kicks in this
7th
one.
corner kick comes in. Iowa State player gets her head on it. Not quite the right place, though, and it rolls over to Michigan's 15, Sarah Bridenstine. She'll knock it out on the far side for a Cyclone throw-in. So good job defensively by Bridenstine to get the reset button and make sure that the Cyclones don't earn themselves yet another corner kick.
Cyclones looking to toss this one in. Not really finding anyone open as the Wolverines will intercept that pass. Passing it over to Hackinson. Passes it over to Woods. Struggling a little bit back here. Still in the Wolverines' backfield. Passing it around, but the Cyclones will intercept a pass. But again, Jenna Lang, the freshman, scouting it out, stopping them from getting any further into the territory. Wolverines taking back possession again over to Lang.
They'll regain possession. Sun is fully set here. We are fully under the lights now. Michigan moves the ball up deep into Cyclone territory. Sammy Woods on the chase. She's got defenders on her. Looks across the zone. Quick pass. It's just going to miss the side of the net after it was tipped by Burrell. Burrell looking for that goal. It just missed. Cyclone defender, keeper there in time as well. Wolverines.
Cyclone keeper not happy about something there at the end, whether she was attempting to argue for some sort of whistle or getting into a bit of a heated discussion with some of her players. Regardless, it will be yet another Wolverine corner kick here.
Lang with the corner kick. The Wolverines mostly high in the box, too low. Here's the kick. The Cyclone will get her head on it before any Wolverine can. It bounces out to about the midpoint of the zone. Michigan slows things down and then cuts deep on the far side. Can't get a read on the number just yet. Farthest from our vantage point. Cyclones.
Under 20 minutes left, 19:35 left in the game. Tied at 2 apiece.
So the Cyclones regain control, look to start things up. They'll slow it down and move it back in the zone. It's number 10 for the Cyclones controlling now. She'll move this one upfield on the far side. Under a lot of pressure, however, from the Wolverines, they send it back to their keeper. Keeper shifts it to the near side. It's number 6 for Iowa State with it. She's got options. She'll choose to go D to D, swinging it to the far side now.
Again, as you mentioned, sun completely set, giving us a gorgeous Thursday night here in Ann Arbor under the lights at the stadium.
Beautiful conditions for some soccer. The 7 p.m. start. this weather, it must be, what, 75 degrees out? Perfect T-shirt, polo shirt, whatever you want to wear weather.
Exactly.
And I think if you ask any of the members on the pitch right now, while they might say they could use 5-10 degrees cooler, they'll take this any time over what we saw last November. Score tied at 2. Wolverines in control right now. They've had all the momentum the past 15, 20 minutes. Move it into Cyclone territory. It's Hackinson moving in. We have a cross box pass. Wolverines get a shot off. It's deflected off the shins of a Cyclone defender. The Cyclones have themselves a goal kick. Crowd quite happy with how the Wolverines are playing right now.
Again, happened a couple minutes earlier, but really can't be upset at that one. That was just very well defensively played by the Cyclones. Wolverines had some good looks. Those defenders were right there, getting in front of the ball, stopping any scary situations from occurring. Under 18 minutes left in the game. Still tied at 2 apiece. Wolverines made a quick substitution, if I am correct, but didn't quite catch who it was. Wolverines with possession of the ball in Cyclone territory, but Burrell unable to hold on to the pass. Cyclones take possession. Cyclones with the ball deep into Michigan territory. This could be trouble. Thankfully, it is not. Emily Layson, number 17 for the Wolverines, keeping the pressure on that Cyclone, forcing her to take a bad shot that is easily caught by Nino, the Wolverine goaltender.
Absolutely. When you're on defense, your objective in soccer, hockey, any sport that's essentially filled with this layout, your goal is to keep whoever's putting pressure on you to the outside so they can't get a good shot off. Wolverines make a run for it. It's 26 with the shot. That's Lang. Misses just inches on the far side of the net, or the right side for that shot.
Lang has just been an absolute force out there since stepping in. We're getting another quick substitution or two in there. Claire Dawson coming in, the senior coming out. Not quite sure, didn't catch the number of the player coming out for the Wolverines.
That's all right. Wolverines controlling the ball at the midfield. They'll have the throw-in. It's going to be that one launched to Hackinson, who moves it back real quick to Layson. Layson looks across the field to Tolbert. Tolbert looking upfield. Ball will end up in the feet of Vicky Jones. Another freshman for the Wolverines. Jones looks to launch this one up on the far side. Wolverines get there in time. It's Bridenstine controlling, moves it towards the box, but a Cyclone gets their head on it before anything can happen. Michigan regains control at about the midpoint.
Oh! And the whistle is going to be called.
Now we have a foul. Similar spot to where the Wolverines scored from their last free kick. And Hackinson just walking off the injury.
Hackinson got tripped up quite a little bit there. They are going to trust again the freshman, Jenna Lang, to take this kick. Placing a lot of faith in her this game, and we can clearly see it is well deserved.
She's come through for the Wolverines so far.
Scored the equalizer goal. 15 minutes roughly left in the half. Not quite sure. Some passing going along, but the Cyclones have that one well defensively scouted. Goaltender for the Cyclones with the ball, allowing Iowa State to get set up, hopefully get something going here in the second half, where they have been straight out of luck basically since the starting whistle.
Most definitely. Like you said, Iowa State's keeper's done a good job against Michigan's 12 shots. Michigan on a run right now. It's Tolbert. Turns it over to a Cyclone right at the lip of the box. The keeper will launch it out towards midfield. Quick tussle between Bridenstine for it. She'll emerge with the ball, and she'll pass it off to Hackinson. Hackinson with the escape move. Looks to the near side. It's 22. Claire Dawson with it. She'll move in, launch this one towards the net. It's a bouncer. She was looking for Sammy Woods off the head of a Cyclone instead. Cyclone's controlling, but under a lot of pressure. It's Lang putting on pressure for the Wolverines. Ball still just on the near side.
Coming up under 14 minutes. left in this half. Ball goes out of play. Cyclones able to throw this ball in as they make a few quick substitutions. Ball deep into Cyclone territory as they look around for a good player to pass it in, and do. Number 7, Hackinson, attempting to steal the pass, unable to do so, but does get the Cyclones to kick the ball out of bounds. Wolverines with the throw-in, number 15, Bridenstine.
So Bridenstine tosses it in. It's received by Hackinson, turned over quickly to the Cyclones, who then knock it back out. It will be another Wolverine throw-in. Hard to gauge the number just from the stance position. I think it's Bridenstine tossing it in once more.
It is.
It is. They'll move it in towards the box. Wolverines with an opportunity here. It's knocked away by a Cyclone defender. Dolson chasing after it in that box there. We'll have a quick tussle for it between Bridenstine and the Cyclone defender, who ends up on her back. Bridenstine doing a good job just protecting, keeping control of that ball, and the Wolverines will cycle it in the back end. They'll move it up to Bridenstine on the near side, who shifts it back to the center of the field to Tolbert, and in pretty deep into Michigan's territory as they look to get some offense going once more. Under pressure now at the midfield, the Wolverines have the ball. It's Vicky Jones controlling. She looks to the far side for the Wolverines. They'll launch it up to Woods. Woods under a lot of pressure, hands it off to Lawrence, who's on a run deep into Cyclone territory. She'll take a shot. That one's scooped up by the Cyclone keeper with ease.
12th shot of the game, or maybe even 13th. I'll have the answer in just a moment. But Wolverines, a lot of shots on goal this half compared to Iowa State, who I'm not sure, they might have had one. I'm not quite sure. I don't know what their number was.
They definitely have one, but their opportunities have not been here like the Wolverines.
Certainly. Cyclones had 4 shots on goal at the end of the first. Same thing with the Wolverines. Wolverines have since had 8.
Cyclone opportunity down in Michigan territory. They'll swing it across the box. That one picked up. Sorry to interrupt you there.
You're fine. School's barely in session. I'm not fully comfortable with doing math again quite yet.
So that's 8 shots for the Wolverines this half, 3 shots for the Cyclones, no?
Yes. Those would be the correct numbers. Had to crunch some numbers up in my head, you know. Didn't have a calculator in front of me. Hard to do. Hard to do. Don't know how our parents did it.
Hey, as long as you are not studying in the math department, you're just fine.
I'm not.
There you go.
Fortunately, though, I did come here to play school.
There you go. What is the major, Dolson?
I'm in media communications, so
nice.
Social media, advertising, marketing, and such.
I dig it.
Have you decided yours yet?
Political science, baby.
Exciting.
Very exciting stuff. And senior year for you now, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Going to be calling some great games this year. Just like this one, Cyclones have possession on their own end. 10:45 left in the second half. Score still tied at 2 apiece. Cyclones decide to pass it back over to their goaltender, who will pass it over on the close side, at least for our frame of reference.
Near side, Cyclones still controlling. They enter into Michigan's territory. Try to launch it. It's picked up by League off her head, in fact. Michigan controlling now, but they're under a lot of pressure. Dawson with it. She's knocked down, draws the foul. It'll be Michigan's ball with the free kick here. Looks like it'll be Bridenstine's to take it. She'll opt to go lower in the zone, moving it over to Layson. Layson swings it across to Tolbert. Tolbert on the sprint up towards the midfield. She'll slow it down, move it to the far side to League. League upfield. Looked like she was trying to find Woods, couldn't quite get there. Ball rolls out. It'll be a Cyclone throw in at about the midfield. We'll have a Cyclone substitution.
Under 10 minutes remaining in this half. Coming up, 9:40 remaining. Time running out for both teams to try to get something going in this half. Wolverines, of course, had the equalizer goal in this second half, but it has been quiet since then for both teams. 3 goals scored in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan fans, the Mason Blue faithful, at least happy that they've tied it up, but with all the momentum we've seen going Michigan's way, and we don't pretend to be unbiased on these broadcasts, you hope to see another Michigan goal. You hope to see them come away with this game because they
Certainly.
Absolutely deserve it.
Coming from the fans' perspective, of course.
Fans' perspective, yes. But the Maize and Blue have played their hearts out. They've absolutely dominated control of the game. especially in terms of possession. That said, it's the Cyclones controlling deep in Michigan's zone right now. They'll look to launch it into the box. Cyclones will get a shot off, and they score. Oh, my God.
Very ugly. We're complimenting them too much. Wolverines clearly got complacent, and just a sloppy mistake made there.
Well, that was tough because you had Nino looking to just receive that shot as a save, but instead, a Wolverine defender, and frankly, I got caught up in the excitement. I didn't catch the number.
Certainly.
Went off their head. They knocked it right back into the box for, frankly, a juicy rebound for the Cyclones to pick up. Iowa State, with their 7th shot of the game, scores their 3rd goal of the match.
Iowa State, I mean, sometimes these kind of mistakes happen. You're still early on in the season. Defender clearly had no frame of reference as to where Nino was. And unfortunately, you just make mistakes like that. But hopefully you'd imagine she learned her lesson and she won't be making that in later games.
So 8 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the second half. Michigan down 1 once more. It's Iowa State 3, Michigan Wolverines 2. We'll have a quick substitution for the Wolverines. Callie Burrell will return. She'll take the space of Claire Dawson. So a freshman in for the senior. Quick throw in deep in Cyclone territory for the Wolverines. Knocked back out, and the Wolverines draw the corner kick this time. So clock's still ticking. Under 8 minutes here, Dolson.
Very big chance for the Wolverines to hopefully tie up the game yet again.
Corner kick off the head of a Wolverine, not quite on par with where they were looking for.
Keeping it in play, though, deep into Cyclone territory.
Ball's controlled and launched off the foot of Lily Farkas. It's just high, missing by about a foot or two over the crossbar.
Put just a little bit too much juice into that one. Flies over the crossbar. Cyclone goaltender will take possession deep into Iowa State territory.
Good opportunity there for the Wolverines nonetheless. As we tick down towards 7 minutes, 10 seconds left in the second half. Cyclones launch it into Michigan's zone. The Wolverines receive it, head it back towards the midfield. They'll come away with possession. It's Vicky Jones. With it, she looks to the near side to Hackinson. Hackinson coming up on the near side. Sends it into the box where it's received by the Cyclone keeper. Under pressure, she'll pick it up. She's buying as much time as possible. Great effort there. Trying to get the number.
Burrell, I believe, was the one trying to get up into the goaltender's face. Force
Burrell.
Something to happen. I really just hate to see that unfortunate mistake on the Wolverine defensive end. They've played so tight. They've been playing so excellently all half. And to see it come down to potentially that, something you just really hate to see.
Yeah, it's tough. The Wolverines still have 6 minutes, though. They're cycling it around deep in their own territory, looking to get something going. Tolbert to Layson.
Wolverines certainly refusing to lay down and die.
Most definitely. Layson, errant pass picked back up, actually, by another Wolverine. So Wolverines second life here. They'll move it upfield to midfield line to Lily Farkas, who sends it deep. She's looking for Sammy Woods. She'll chase after it. Woods in the box now. Moves it over. It's Bridenstine with the shot. What a save there.
She got the goaltender. Not sure if she got a hand on it. She might have. But regardless, the ball floats just barely above the goal on a beautiful look. 5.5 minutes remaining. Cyclones still with that 1-goal lead, 3-2.
That's just a tough draw for the Wolverines. What a fantastic opportunity they had. And you know what, Dolson? They keep doing that. This is absolutely a team that can tie this game up.
Oh, absolutely.
So the Cyclones start with it. They turn it over to the Wolverines at the midfield, as they've done numerous times. Worth noting that the Wolverines lead the Cyclones in shots 2-1 with 14 to Iowa's 7. And they'll start to get something going. As I say that, of course, ball rolls out on the far side off of an errant pass from Tolbert.
Under 5 minutes remaining, 4:45 left. Door slowly closing for the Wolverines to tie this up, but of course, anything can happen in soccer. Crazier things have happened in less time.
Cyclones move it in. It's off the head of Jones. ends up back the feet of a Cyclone. Sorry about that there.
Yeah, that happens. Can't blame you.
Quick sneeze. 4:20 remaining in the second half here. Ball in possession of, or Izzy Nino in possession of the ball.
Of course. Decides to place the ball down, force the Cyclone defender up, and launches it downfield into a Cyclone head. Bit of a fight for possession between the two teams, but it will go off a Cyclone defender's knee. Wolverines tossing it in very quickly, but a Cyclone is there to knock it out of the way. Wolverines intercept, though.
And Bridenstine's urgency definitely shown on that throw-in. Down to 3:45 left in the second half. Every second counts at this point in the game. Far side, Sammy Woods controlling the ball under pressure. She'll shift it back. The Cyclone gets tripped up, no foul called. Quick shot from the Wolverines. That one drifting towards the near side, misses the net by just a few feet. That one launched.
Michigan.
Couldn't quite get the number. Was that number 14, Danny Wolf?
I believe it was. Wolverines have had several opportunities to tie it up, several great looks. Fortunately, many of them just a little too high or a little too much to the side.
Cyclones buying time. Their keeper
Definitely
taking her time, planting the goal kick as the clock strikes 3 minutes remaining. She has it set up, but clearly slowing this game down. She'll knock the ball to the midfield, where it's off the head of Bridenstine. Knocked by a Cyclone. She'll chase after it, send it to Nino. Nino launches it, to midfield. Therefore, it is Lily Farkas. She knocks it deep into the zone. It's Callie Burrell chasing after it. She can't quite get there in time as the Cyclones regain possession in their zone. They're moving it around under pressure. Look to them just to buy some time here. The Wolverines really need to apply that forecheck.
Under 2.5 minutes remaining. 2:20. Cyclones up by 1. Currently looking to just let the clock dwindle down. Wolverines again refusing to lay down and die.
So the Cyclones with an opportunity here. It's number 7 chasing after it on the near side. She's under pressure, however, from Bridenstine. Bridenstine falls down. Foul is called on the Cyclones. Cyclone number 7 not happy with the call. No card awarded.
She does not have the time to argue it. Under 2 minutes remaining. Wolverines with the ball deep in their own possession.
It's Bridenstine with it. She looks deep upfield. This one off the head of a Cyclone, but into the feet of Danny Wolf. Wolf moves it to the middle. She was looking for Hackinson. It's intercepted by a Cyclone who moves it back into Michigan's territory. Quick give and go to number 32 of the Cyclones. They'll reset. Errant pass, however. Things getting a little sloppy under the pressure of 1:30. The Cyclones looking to hold on to this ball as long as possible. They'll launch it to the far side. The Wolverines will regain control there, but still under pressure. It's Farkas with it. She's fighting for it. Turns it over to a Cyclone who has plenty of space. Now 2 Wolverines have come up to her to apply pressure. She'll shift it back, regain control. Wolverines doing a great job applying the pressure. They earn the turnover. Sarah Bridenstine pulls it with 1 minute remaining in the second half here. It's do or die for the Wolverines. If you believe in
miracles, now is the time for one.
Against Iowa State.
Absolutely.
Iowa State regains control at midfield. They're knocking it around. Wolverines need to apply some pressure. They'll shift it back to their keeper. Chasing after it is Sammy Woods. Not there in time. The keeper knocks it to midfield. We're down to 40 seconds remaining in the half.
Wolverines looking for any window of opportunity to come up. And a whistle will be blown.
Foul is called. A Cyclones knocked over, I want to say it was Hackinson that took him down at about midfield.
Only about 20 seconds left. Really got to feel like that has to be the last nail in the coffin for the game. Clock slowly dwindling down. Cyclones taking as much time as humanly possible to send this one.
Here's the kick. 10 seconds on the countdown. This ball will roll out for a throw-in for the Wolverines. Valiant effort for them. They'll try to move it down, but it comes up short. Iowa State will come away with this one.
Final
3-2.
3-2, like you said. Really hate to see it. Seemed like the second half was all Wolverines when they put the game-tying goal on the board. You really thought it was all theirs, but unfortunately, as we mentioned, an unfortunate mistake deep in the Wolverines' backfield after we were complimenting them, perhaps a bit too much. gives Iowa State the opportunity to take the leading goal that the Wolverines unfortunately cannot respond to.
It's a heartbreaker, Dolson, but it's early in the season. The Wolverines ranked 3rd in the Big Ten preseason poll. We'll have some Big Ten play underway pretty shortly on CBN, and almost all of the women's soccer home games will be broadcast here from WCBN, whether it's me or Dolson or someone else from the station. We'll have coverage for you. Of course, continuing coverage. Our friends at the Michigan Daily always do a great job, and Big Ten Plus, you can watch any away games as well. 3-2. Iowa State comes away with this one. Dolson, final thoughts on the match?
Truly, definitely disappointing, harsh loss. One you could have won. Unfortunately, though, but due to some mistakes. But as we've mentioned, these are definitely the kind of games, if you're going to make any mistakes at all, this is the kind of game to be doing it in. Out of conference play, early in the season, you definitely don't want to be making those sloppy mistakes and having to learn an unfortunate lesson deep into Big Ten play in a big conference game or in tournament play even.
Absolutely. Next game against CU Boulder. We'll see you then. Dolson, before we sign off, anything you want to preview about Saturday's broadcast?
Against Colorado State.
Big call from the big house.
Oh, yeah, big call from the big house. Our season opener. You definitely are not going to want to miss it. I can barely contain my excitement. Football is finally back. Felt like the longest off season of my life.
Oh.
And in a game against Colorado State, against the Rams, got 2 Michigan QBs vying for competition. Definitely feels like it could be a showcase for the gun show in town.
Absolutely. Of course, with the QB situation, a not-so-exciting game. Let's be realistic. Colorado State, right? This isn't that exciting.
None of our first few games are that exciting.
No,
you got
they never
Colorado
are.
State, Hawaii, and then UConn.
But now, with the knowledge of the QB situation, every pass attempt by whether it's Cade McNamara or J.J. McCarthy really means something. So we're excited to have you on the call. We'll see you on Saturday. Be sure to tune in. That's noon right here on the WCBN Sports YouTube channel. We'll have a few games on FM this year. I don't believe that is one of them.
Fortunately not, but the Hawaii night game at 8 p.m. the next week will be on FM. So be sure to check out that one if you can.
That'll be a fun one. But for now, women's soccer falling just short to Iowa State 3-2. Those who made it through the whole broadcast with us, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. For now, for Ryan Dolson, I'm Owen Crain, saying good night, and as always, go blue.